This first factory has done absolutely awesome for me. It has processed so many resources from the ground and gotten me a ridiculous amount of ore blocks. But it has limitations. And today, I think it's time that we fix them. So, I've got two checklists right here. These checklists are for two brand new factories. This one is completely filled out. We've got all 12 pages of items completely sorted on this side. However, on this side, I am missing something. Right there. We're missing cocoa beans. However, I believe I have found a connection that can provide me with all the cocoa beans I'm going to be needing, or at least some to replicate. But considering the nature of this deal, I think it might be best if I go in disguise. Alright, I was supposed to meet them right back here. Oh. Oh, hey.
Hey,
Are you who I'm supposed to meet?
depends. What are you here for?
I'm looking for some beans.
These beans?
Oh yeah, those beans. Can I have those beans?
For a cost, of course.
I have the money.
Cool.
Give me the beans. Yes. Beans. Thank you very much.
Vince, that mask doesn't hide anything. I know it's you.
You have no idea. She was probably bluffing, but now that we've got the cocoa beans, it's time to get back to work. So now we're gonna build both factories at the same time. I actually don't know which one has less pieces in it, so we may end up having one beat the other out in build speed. On the left here, for our palette, we went predominantly with limestone and then used quartz as our accent. On the right, I went with viridium and used prismarine as an accent. That was a decision I regret. It took me an insane amount of time to get a hold of all of the prismarine I needed for all of the floors. But it does look very nice. One of the big differences between these two factories and Factory 1 is that these two factories do liquid management and mixing, while Factory 1 was specialized for using ground resources. Factory 1 specialized in dealing with rocks, stones, ores, all sorts of things that we would mine up from the underground. Both of these factories actually create most of the resources they need, and as a result, they do a lot more crafting and mixing and making more intermediary and then final products, rather than just processing things from the ground so that they're in a usable state. One of the things I found fun about this build is that each of the buildings would take the lead in construction at different times. Because of the number of blocks in each layer being different, it was really hard to determine which one was going to win. These two factories actually create almost all, if not all, of the resources they need in-house, so they can run forever without being hooked up to external resource lines. Something that ended up happening that I did not foresee in the build was that a sapling in the back corner ended up rapidly growing into a super tall tree. I ended up having to go back and trim that later. And then boom, the potion factory finished with barely even a 5-minute lead on the other factory. Since the potion factory was the winner of the build race between the two factories, we are going to start with its tour. So, the first floor is separated in 2 parts lengthwise. On the left side, we have all of the standard potion bottling. This is how we get our classic bottles of potions. You know, normal invisibility, normal harming, normal night vision, and normal strength potions. On the right side is something that's much more specific to me. And this is where I will be creating glowstone, redstone, and gunpowder directly from these potions. That's the whole reason I actually wanted this factory, is it's going to make it really easy for me to synthetically create gunpowder, redstone, and glowstone. In the back half, we actually have the generation for both sides. In the back right over here, we have a scoria generator. This goes into grind wheels, which then gives us pieces of coal along with a chance of getting cinder flour. Cinder flour goes up and over to the potion doping section, and all of the coal nuggets get compressed together to make larger chunks of coal, which then get taken upstairs to feed blaze burners. We'll get to those in a minute. On the left side here, we have a cobblestone generator, which then goes through twin sets of grind wheels to make sand. Sand gets cooked, gets turned into bottles, and then bottles get sent over to the bottling side. The first floor is pretty simple, but as we move up to the second floor, you're going to see that things are much more complicated than at first glance. The second floor of this factory is where all of the potions get mixed properly. There's 5 different mixing cauldrons in here, and they create respectively poison, harming, strength, night vision, and invisibility potions. Of those 5, only 4 are put in the front as proper tanks. In the back of this floor, we have all of the generation for most of the ingredients for the potion creation. Think golden carrots, blaze powder, fermented spider eyes, all of that stuff is automated back here and set up to process from what we'll see on the third floor. Also, all the way around in a big circle, you can see the coal circling and feeding all of the blaze burners on this floor. They will always stay full and they will always stay burning. Alright, with that being the second floor, we're going to head on up to the third floor. Now, the third floor is where I'm going to be generating all of the resources necessary to make all of these potions. You saw a couple of grinders on the lower floors, but those are only good for making sand, coal, a couple of specific materials. In the front here, we have a really nice netherwort farm, next to it a carrot farm, and then next to that a sugarcane farm. All pretty basic. They just spin around, clip the crops, and then send all of their stuff down to the second floor for processing. In the back here, we have a brown mushroom farm, which is useful for the fermented spider eyes. And then over on this side, I have the kill box. This is designed to get all of the blaze rods, spider eyes, as well as all of the gold ingots and nuggets that I'm going to need for this building. However, obviously this room is lacking something. This room is lacking spawners. Fortunately, there's a new guy on my island that I think I can talk to. I think he might have the ability to make spawners, and we might be able to talk him into hooking me up with the 3 that I need here. So hopefully I can find him and he will be able to help me out with this problem, you know? How long were you standing there for?
Did someone say spawners?
Well, I'm happy you're here, buddy. Would you happen to have a spider, a zombie pig, and a blaze spawner that I could purchase off of you, perchance?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not.
Oh, phenomenal. Would these diamond coins be enough for you to, like, hand them to me right now? Or
Yeah,
actually, even better, will you install them for me?
I love the installation process, actually.
Phenomenal.
Personally, I really do.
Thank
So,
you, my
I think this
dude.
should work out just fine. I just, where do you want the spawners to be?
That center column there.
Gotcha.
Right on the bottom of them. Thanks to Blueben getting the potion factory running, let's go check out the milkshake shop while it fills up. This time around, we're going to start from the top of the factory and go down to the bottom. So, similar to the potion factory, we have a lot of farms up here. These big rotary stacks produce all the sugar, all the cocoa, and all the glowberries that I'm going to need for anything. And it all gets sorted down the center here. Then directly behind these two, we have a large tree farm. This is for production of wood, which I then turn into charcoal. I use charcoal to run all the burners in this factory. Then tucked back away in the corner behind that, we have a sweetberry bush as well as a sunflower, and these are used for the creation of strawberry and vanilla flavorings respectively. And then in the back left, we have 2 cows, which I have both nicknamed Betsy, and they are responsible for all of the milk production for the milkshake factory. Now down to the second floor. Again, very similar to the potion factory, this is the mixing floor. But instead of mixing just 5 things, we actually mix over 10 here. And if you can't tell, it's much more organized. These recipes lend themselves much better to being done in an industrial format. So this ended up just looking much neater and much nicer, even with a lot less trial and error. So from forward back, the back 2 tanks are caramel. Then we have the 2 vanilla. Then we have 2 strawberry tanks. After that, 2 glowberry tanks. Following that, 2 chocolate tanks. And then we have the original cream tanks. These are used to mix with all of the other flavorings to make the milkshakes. Now on the first floor, we have the access door. And this one I'm actually pretty proud of. It is a milkshake door. So it is a liquid door that realistically is not going to keep much of anybody out, but I think it looks really cool, and I'm very proud of how nice it ended up looking. Now that is a lickable wall. And then first floor is completely dedicated to bottling. This is where I'm going to take all of the milkshakes that I've produced in the upper floors and send them out and ship them out to all the different locations that I'm going to be creating. Alright, with these 2 factories built, I think it's time for me to get bottling. So, if all of you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, maybe sauce me an interaction, comment, subscribe would be much appreciated, and I will see you all in the next video. Later!